If you look at the old mainstream media in Turkey right now, you would almost only see, I say almost, mainly government-friendly media. So the transition, the transformation of the mainstream media to something else happened throughout the years, but yet still so quickly. And well, what we witness in Turkey is a total media capture, I would say. The other question is, how are the newspapers being distributed? And there, we only have one distributor left. We have some other news agencies too, but in terms of capacity, there is only one news agency which is able to report about election results in Turkey. If the media becomes so homogeneous and so only government-friendly, then some part of the population totally loses interest on what's going on there. It's a very deserted landscape, I would say, at the moment. Yet, there are a lot of initiatives. Others make it possible through online websites, online news portals. But then you have financial problems, of course. The number of journalists who've lost their jobs throughout the years increases, multiplies. So journalism is actually being killed that way. Turkey and European Union are partners. So Turkey, the Turkish government says it's looking forward for a full membership. I don't know when it would be possible, but we still have chapters to negotiate, and there are mutual interests. And it's crucial in this relationship to have a democratic environment in Turkey. I believe that's why the European Union has the right to encourage freedom of speech and media, free media in Turkey. If you want to measure democracy, one thing you look at is the media. And if you look at the media in Turkey, you will see a lot of trouble. You will see imprisoned journalists and media workers. You will see journalists, senior journalists, who were being sentenced to aggravated life with the assumption, with the accusation that they were supporting or actively being part of a coup attempt, which they deny. But you see a lot of young Kurdish journalists who ended up in jail just because of anonymous witness claiming that they were a member of a terrorist organization and things like that. So this is one of the big problems. The other one is there are many journalists who are being tried for having insulted the president, for example. Even trying to establish something independent and critical can be something suspicious, you know, labeling them as terrorists and so on. These are all problems. So if you have these problems, and at the same time, if Turkey wants to go forward in its relationship with the European Union towards a full membership, these things have to be addressed.